What's going on, everyone? Jay here, and welcome back. Today I'll be showing you guys how to install emulator and homebrew applications on your PS Vita running TNV4. Before we get started, there's a couple things that we need to do. Uh, for the record, I'm using VMware Fusion under OS X, so it works perfectly fine with Open CMA. So if you were wondering about that, running VMware Fusion. Okay, before we get started, there's a couple things we need. First, you need WinRAR. If you go, a link will be in the description below. It's free to download. It's free to use. Next, under my computer, organize, folder search and option, view, and make sure that box is unticked. That says hide extensions for known file type. So make sure you untick that, and we're ready to get started. There are basically two options installing any applications, any homebrews in TNV4. First option is installing it individually, and second option is to install multiple at once. Go under your desktop, create a new folder, label that folder PSP. Make sure everything is capitalized, otherwise it will not work. So create a folder called PSP. Under that folder, create another folder and name that folder game. Okay, and inside that folder you could drag and drop whatever application you downloaded. If you want to double check inside the application, make sure everything is there. For this application I'm using is Vita FTP. It's really one of the most useful application that was developed for this. It allows you to transfer files from your PS Vita via your computer if you connect it to the same network. So just drag and drag that inside the game folder, and that's it. Next part is right click on that PSP folder you created. Under WinRAR, choose add to archive. Now this is very important, you gotta follow this. Choose archive format to zip. Compression method, make sure you choose store because it cannot be compressed. If it is, most likely it will not work, so just make sure you choose store, and under archive name, make sure you name it install that zip. As I stated before, and make sure you spell it correctly. As I stated before, it all has to be capitalized, even the extension, the dot. Zip has to be capitalized, or otherwise it will not work. So once you're done with that, your new install that zip will be on your desktop. Just copy that. Go under Documents, PS Vita, PS Save Data, and your random numbered folder. Click that, and click your save data for, of course, the Megamix exploit. You could delete whatever install that zip you have already and paste that into there. Alright, the next part takes place on your Vita. Make sure you plug it in. Go under Content Manager, start it. PC to PS Vita, application, PSP another. Okay. Once you under TNV4, go under game, your memory stick, and click triangle for option. and choose install. It's going to ask you if you want to install it. Press yes. Once it's completed, it's going to ask you, do you want to delete this file? You might as well, there's no need for it. If it doesn't show up right away, just back out of your memory stick and go back to the game memory stick and it should be there. I think that's where a lot of people go wrong, is where they just installed it and it's not there. So just make sure you back out and you back in again and give it time to refresh, I'm guessing, and the application will be there. And as you can see, Vita FTP is running. Alright, on to option 2. Option number 2 is installing multiple applications all at once. If you want to keep this PSP folder as a template inside your desktop or anywhere, that'll be a good idea. Same thing, PSP, game. Now you could delete the Vita FTP because it's already installed. And this is a Game Boy Advance emulator, GPSP. Pick a Drive is a Sega Genesis emulator, and SNES is a Super Nintendo emulator. Now for the GPSP, you won't need a BIOS. It's not hard to get. Just Google GBA BIOS PSP and you'll typically find it. When you get your GBA BIOS file, it should say GBA BIOS.ben. Just drag and drop that to your GPSP folder. For the GBA ROM, I'm using Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. For the Pico Drive, same thing, go under ROM. I'm using NBA Jam Tournament Edition. Just drag and drop the zip file into your ROM folder. I'm not using any ROM for the Super Nintendo emulator. I'll do that later. Now, as I said, if you want to keep the PSP folder as a template, go to PSP, game, and just drag and drop these 3 inside the game folder. And just like before, right click, and just like before, right click, choose add to archive, make sure it's under zip, make sure compression method is under store, and make sure everything is uppercase and name it install.zip, and press OK. And as before, copy it, go to my document, PS Vita, PS Save Data, your random numbered folder, and you could delete the old install.zip and paste the new one. Go back to your PS Vita, Content Manager, PC to PS Vita, Application, PSP and other, the Megamix. There should be a size difference, 58 megabyte versus the 32 megabyte, so that tells you there's more content in there. And just click OK. OK, override. OK, once it's copied, could exit out of that. Go to your game, launched it. Go to your memory stick, and it should always be the first application on the list. So just triangle for option, and then click install, and click yes. Give it some time. every time it pauses, it's installing the next application. So if you see it moves from say 50 to 70 and so forth and so on. So it's every time there's a slight pause in between, the next application is being installed. So uh, just like last time, it said install completed. Do you want to delete this file? Press yes, and then okay. Same thing, back out of your memory stick. Choose another under video or whatever, and then go back, and that's it. It should be refreshed. That's the Super Nintendo emulator. That's the Pico drive, which is the Genesis, and the GBA emulator. Emulator is working. As you could see, that's our ROM over there. If you find this video useful, go ahead and give me a thumbs up down below. Subscribe for more content, and if you have any questions or requests, just drop me a comment down below and I'll try to make it. Alright guys, until next time.